Shawn was glad that he had finally finished his manuscript. Now he could send it to the editor. Shawn went to the mailbox and dropped the envelope with the manuscript in it. He planned to meet with his online friend today. Of course, the idea didn't seem credible, but they had arranged to meet a long time ago. There was just no way to back out. Shawn got to the meeting a little early, as he didn't like to be in a hurry. His life was measured. He liked peace and quiet. Why am I nervous? It's not like this is the first time I'm meeting an online friend. It's probably because I've only known her for half a month and we're already meeting in person. I wonder what kind of person she is. Shawn clutched his head. The relentlessly swarming thoughts were driving him crazy. But she was the one who first struck up the conversation and suggested we meet. We have to be prepared to be disappointed. It won't be very pleasant if the situation gets awkward. What if she's a fraud in the first place? Stop thinking about that. You can't be disappointed if you don't expect anything. I'll just act normal. What if she doesn't find me? My clothes are too ordinary. I don't stand out at all. Hello, Slumber Forest. It's you, isn't it? A rather pretty girl approached Shawn. How did she recognize me so quickly? Doesn't matter, though, Shawn thought to himself. And the lost one waiting to return, that's you, isn't it? Clarified Shawn. Yes, that's me. Would you like us to shake hands? Asked the girl. No need to be so formal, just act casual, asked Shawn. Or maybe you want to hold hands, but you're just lost. I didn't think a man who looks honest could be like that. You're leaving me absolutely no choice. I have to hold your hand. In a flirtatious tone, the girl said. What are you even talking about now? You misunderstood my words, shouted Shawn. Okay, don't freak out. I'm just teasing you, laughed the girl said. Let's take a walk here. The weather is just wonderful today. Now I remember. I think she mentioned back then that she was attending a university not far from here. She said she was due to graduate soon. No wonder she wanted to meet right here, thought Shawn. My name is Shawn Lines. What's yours? And I'm Elliot Pressett. It's a pleasure to meet you, Shawn. Thank you for accepting my invitation. Would you like me to buy you some milk tea? What's she thanking me for? There's no need to be so polite. Shawn's mind raced. If you want to drink milk tea, we need to go in the opposite direction. That's where the cafe is that sells all sorts of drinks, said Shawn to the girl. Elliot admitted that she doesn't walk here often, so she doesn't know the cafes around here. Even though we hit it off when we chatted online, she was always the first one to actually start a conversation. Now, in person, I don't know what to say at all. I have no experience with this at all, thought Shawn sitting in the coffee shop. This is getting awkward. What am I going to do? It must be bad for a grown man like me to be too passive. Maybe go to the restroom and quickly look up online how to behave on a first date? Elliot sat silently across from Shawn and scrutinized him. Why do you keep looking at me? Asked a blushing Shawn. Elliot answered him that she likes to read people by their faces. By scrutinizing Shawn, she tries to determine his character. And from the look on your face, I can tell you one thing. I think you didn't sleep well. You have big bags under your eyes, Shawn exclaimed. You can't hide anything from him, Elliot thought to herself. Don't you have class today? Asked Shawn to the girl. Elliot told him that she was in her last year of university and would be graduating soon. She will be a literature major. She doesn't have many classes at the moment, mostly writing her diploma. What about you? Are you already working? Let me guess. You probably have a creative job, am I right? Elliot asked. You could put it that way. I mostly draw sketches for clients. I work when I have a job and do nothing when I don't. My work is unstable, so it's hard to call it serious, replied Shawn. I have to admit that you seem pretty serious to me, said Elliot and laughed again. Okay, that's it. Stop laughing at me. Tell me what you managed to read off my face, demanded Shawn, pounding his fist on the table jokingly. It had been a month since Shawn and Elliot first met. Throughout that time, they had met regularly once a week. Shawn had gotten used to Elliot, so he felt more confident around her, the awkwardness gone. Elliot turned out to be a gentle, intelligent girl. She knew how to make people feel comfortable. Shawn's cell phone received a message from Elliot. She invited the guy to go to the movies with her. Shawn hadn't been to a movie theater in a long time, so he gladly agreed. Shawn put the finishing touches on the painting and sighed contentedly. The result pleased him. Finished painting already? Quickly change your clothes and let's go for a walk. I heard there are some new things for sale in the old streets of our town. Come on, maybe we can bargain something good, said his mother to Shawn. Did your aunt tell you about this? I'm busy today. Ask her to go with you, replied Shawn. And what are you busy today? If I ask your aunt to come with me, she'll grab all the good stuff for herself. Go outside and get some fresh air, or you're going to get yourself some health problems sitting at home all the time, the woman exclaimed. When Shawn approached the movie theater, Elliot was already waiting for him. Seeing Shawn, Elliot got up from her seat and approached him. The girl wondered why Shawn had brought the tube with him. I drew this for you. Shawn held out the tube to the girl. He was sure she would love the picture he drew. Thank you so much, said Elliot and smiled sweetly. Shawn's face immediately turned crimson red. Let's go see a movie, said Shawn and headed towards the movie theater. Wait for me here. I'm going to take the picture and come back. I think it'll be inconvenient to carry that tube everywhere with me. Don't worry, I'll be back in time for the start of the session for sure, shouted Elliot and rushed towards the dormitory. Since there was still plenty of time before the movie theater session, Elliot and Shawn decided to take a walk around town. They approached a regulated crosswalk. Even though there weren't any cars, Elliot still stood still waiting for the green color of the traffic light. Of course it's important to follow the rules of the road, but there aren't any cars. Is she being so cautious because she's already seen an accident? Shawn thought to himself. When the light turned green, Elliot took Shawn's hand and led the way. Why do I get nervous every time she takes my hand? I'm in my 20s and I can't react calmly when a girl touches me. I feel like our relationship has long gone beyond friendship, thought Shawn. I think it's time for lunch. Let's go to a place. Follow me. I'm sure you'll like it there, said Elliot. Elliot led Shawn to a rather unremarkable building. Shawn was surprised that the girl knew about this place. Shawn used to frequent this place when he was at university. The food here was delicious, and the portions were huge. Although Shawn graduated 2 years ago, he still liked to come here. He could be called a regular customer. Isn't that our little Shawn? It's been a while. What are you going to eat? The owner of the place asked Shawn. I see you're not alone tonight. Decided to bring your girlfriend? The owner of the place noticed a pretty girl next to Shawn. Shawn hurriedly assured him that he and this girl were just friends. At the home-cooked restaurant, Elliot surprised Shawn again. She ordered his favorite dishes. Shawn noted to himself that their tastes were surprisingly similar. Lend me that thing for a few days, Vanessa asked her sister. No. This thing seems to be from the late Ming Dynasty or early Qing Dynasty. When I get home, I want to study it thoroughly. In addition, last time I asked you to borrow your cigarette mouthpiece, you also refused me, Jennifer replied. Jen, would you look over there? Isn't that your son? Exclaimed Vanessa, pointing her finger somewhere forward. Jennifer, spotting her son, hurried over to him. She really wanted to show off the item she had bought in front of him. Where did you run to? Wait! Can't you see he's not alone? There's a girl next to him. Vanessa stopped her sister, grabbed her shoulder. Jennifer didn't think long and dragged her sister around the nearest corner. You and I are going to disguise ourselves now and follow them. It's important that you and I find out what they're up to. Jennifer pulled a mask and sunglasses out of her pocket. While Elliot bought tickets, Shawn decided to buy one big bucket of popcorn. You paid for our lunch at that little restaurant, and I told you I'd buy us not only movie tickets, but also popcorn. We had a deal. Elliot resented. Oh, I must have misunderstood you. I thought you and I only agreed on the tickets. Painting an idiotic smile on his face, said Shawn. He didn't want the girl paying for him all the time. There's still 20 minutes until the session starts. I'll go to the cafe next door and get myself a milkshake. If you want one, I'll get you one too, said Elliot and walked out of the movie theater. Jennifer and Vanessa sat in front of the movie theater and watched the main entrance carefully. Why did the girl come out alone? Where's that passerby? Jennifer muttered. Elliot felt someone's eyes on her. She looked carefully at Jennifer and Vanessa. Did you see the way she looked at us? I thought she recognized us. Maybe she knows us, Vanessa asked her sister. How could she even know us? Don't make this up. She looked at us like we were two weirdos, nothing more, grumbled Jennifer. I think you need to teach your son a lesson. He shouldn't have let the girl go alone to get drinks. And to be honest, I didn't expect your son to ever have a girlfriend, Vanessa admitted. I'm a little surprised myself. On top of that, this girl seems pretty nice. I think she's a nice person. Lucky for that asshole. That recluse never tells me anything. If I ask him anything, he denies it, said Jennifer. You really don't know this girl. No wonder, though, young people are big on their privacy nowadays. Don't ask your son anything. Let him build his own relationship, advised Vanessa to her sister. If you look, there are quite a few interesting movies showing next week. If I'm not busy, I'll take Elliot to the movies. Thought Shawn, studying the show schedule. I'm back, by the way, and I got you your favorite carrot juice. Elliot handed Shawn a glass of the drink. An announcement sounded in the movie theater that auditorium number 3 was closed for technical reasons. Room number 3, is that the one where we wanted to watch the movie? Asked Shawn. Let's quickly change the tickets, suggested Shawn to the girl. The only tickets left were for the comedy. Not to change their plans, Shawn and Elliot decided to watch this movie. I used to watch American blockbusters with my friends. This is the first time I'm watching a movie with a girl. It feels pretty weird. Shawn thought to himself. What are you thinking about? Asked Elliot to Shawn. I was thinking about the fact that if those two guys hadn't gotten into a fight in room 3 and broken the equipment, we'd be watching an American blockbuster right now, replied Shawn. I see. Well, we'll have to watch that movie, grumbled Elliot. Surprisingly, the movie turned out to be quite interesting. Shawn laughed with almost every scene. Shawn noted to himself that throughout the movie, Elliot remained serious. She didn't even smile. Shawn decided to feed Elliot some popcorn. He took one piece and held it out to the girl. Elliot reached for the popcorn and took it into her mouth. Damn, I touched her lips. Startled, Shawn thought. You're blushing, Elliot remarked. Now I'm going to feed you. Elliot picked up the popcorn and held it out to Shawn. Say, ah, the girl asked. When Shawn opened his mouth, Elliot pushed the popcorn into it. How our friendship grew into this. Even though I was already in a relationship when I was in high school, I still feel awkward in situations like this. Shawn thought to himself. It makes me uncomfortable to be teased by a girl who is 2 years younger than me. As a man who has experienced all kinds of complicated feelings, I won't allow myself to be so timid. A man should have a sense of self-worth. I need to eat some popcorn. Everyone knows that when a man chews something, he calms down. Shawn pulled his hand toward the popcorn. At the same time, Elliot reached for the popcorn as well. Their hands made contact. Shawn jerked his hand away fearfully. Why aren't you eating the popcorn? Are you embarrassed? Elliot asked in a flirtatious tone. The more I care about her, the farther she gets. She does it on purpose. But calm down. 2 can play this game. Annoyed, Shawn thought. Shawn picked up the popcorn again and held it out to the girl. Thanks, said Elliot and took the popcorn from Shawn's hands. The guy noted to himself that the girl had decided to stop her game halfway through. Once again, he didn't guess her next move. Since the movie ended rather late, Shawn decided to walk Elliot back to her dorm. I noticed that Elliot was barely looking at the screen. I guess this movie didn't really appeal to her. Next time I'll make it up to her and pick something better. Now I should start a conversation so I don't go in complete silence. Thought Shawn. If you could go back in time like in the movie, what would you do? Asked Shawn. That's impossible, exclaimed the girl. And I'm not saying it could happen in real life. Let's assume with you that there is a possibility of going back in time. What would you do in that case? Repeated Shawn's question. I don't know. What would you do? Elliot answered the question with a question. Depends on what time period I would go back to, replied Shawn. He noted to himself that if he went back a few hours, he wouldn't let Elliot fatten him up with popcorn. Come on, it's already turning green. Elliot squeezed Shawn's hand tightly and led him across the crosswalk. Shawn intercepted the girl's hand. Now it wasn't her holding him, but he was holding her. Elliot looked at Shawn in surprise. Now both physically and mentally I feel better. This is my revenge, Shawn thought to himself. Elliot stroked Shawn's palm with her little finger. No, I've lost again. Why does she always take matters into her own hands? Thought a blushing Shawn. I want to let go of her hand, and at the same time, I'm terribly reluctant to do it. It's like some kind of madness. Every time I think I've gotten a win in this game, I immediately lose. My hard-earned victory crumbles to dust every time. I'm a grown man, and I'm shy in front of some girl. It's a shame. We're here. This is my dormitory. Elliot stopped abruptly. Elliot wanted to free her hand, but Shawn gripped it tightly. You don't want to let go of my hand? Elliot asked. Shawn realized that he was holding the girl's hand tightly. He released her with a sudden movement. Shawn blushed again. He felt like a real fool. Shawn Lines, I like you. Let's go out, Elliot suggested. Shawn froze with his mouth hanging open. The girl's words utterly surprised him. He hadn't expected to hear her say that. Elliot rose up on her tiptoes and kissed Shawn on the lips. Bye, shouted Elliot and disappeared behind the dormitory doors. Damn, how am I supposed to respond to something like that? What am I supposed to say back to her? That's it, checkmate, mumbled a blushing Shawn. Are you back already? What happened to your face? Asked Jennifer to her son. After kissing Elliot, Shawn was having a hard time recovering. He kept mentally going back to that moment. By the way, her lip balm is orange-flavored, noted Shawn to himself. It's okay, I should go to bed. Shawn grabbed his slippers and rushed off to his room. Upon entering his room, Shawn fell onto his bed. This isn't just teasing anymore. It's much more serious than that. What kind of relationship do we have now? Are we still friends? Or are we already dating? But I haven't answered yet. So are we still friends? Shawn thought desperately to himself. I'm sure it wasn't due to the spur of the moment, or because the atmosphere was right, and I think she's of the same opinion. Her words and behavior really surprised me. I would never have thought it was possible to fall in love with someone after only 2 months. Early in the morning, Shawn's phone received a text message from Elliot. The girl wished him a good morning. She acts like nothing is going on. But if I didn't like her, would I spend so much time talking to her? Would I stay up at night just to chat? Would I take time out of my day to go shopping with her? What would I do next? Elliot suggested that Shawn take a walk around town. It used to take several days between our meetings. This time it's only been 2 days. Our meetings are becoming more frequent. I hope that's a good sign. Mom, I'm leaving soon, so you don't have to make breakfast for me, shouted Shawn on his way to the bathroom. I came to the street that was listed on the message, but since it's a very long street, I think it would be extremely problematic for us to meet here. Should I stay at the intersection and wait for her here? Shawn rubbed the back of his head thoughtfully. Aren't you waiting for me by any chance? Elliot looked out from behind Shawn's shoulder. Since Shawn hadn't expected a girl to come like that, he involuntarily flinched. You came rather quickly. Do you live around here somewhere? Elliot asked. Yes, you're right. I live in the next neighborhood. By the way, where did you want to go? Inquired Shawn. I have a manuscript to send, replied Elliot. You came all this way just to mail something? Couldn't you have done that in your own neighborhood? Shawn asked, surprised. Is that causing you any problems? By the way, you have dark circles under your eyes. You probably didn't sleep last night, am I right? Asked Elliot. I had some mosquitoes fly into my room. They kept me up all night, lied Shawn. In fact, the guy was awake because he had been thinking about Elliot's question for a long time. Didn't know what to answer the girl. Should they start dating? Yes, mosquitoes can be extremely persistent, said Elliot and laughed out loud. And I see you slept just fine tonight. You're in a great mood, grumbled Shawn. The girl replied to him that she managed to sleep until the wee hours of the morning. She was lucky. There were no mosquitoes in her room. And what exactly do you want to send? Shawn asked as they approached the post office. I just recently finished writing a short story. I wrote it from nothing to do, and now I plan to send it to a publisher, Elliot replied. Shawn watched intently as the girl filled out all the necessary forms. He hadn't expected that she was also into writing. And what are you thinking about again? That's it. We can go. I'm done here. Elliot waved her hand in front of Shawn's eyes. As they walked out of the post office, Elliot noticed that Shawn was trying not to look at her. He kept averting his gaze. What happened? Why aren't you looking at me? At the post office, you couldn't take your eyes off me, Elliot pointed out. Shawn replied to her that he was just brooding. She had absolutely nothing to do with it. By the way, since you've already finished your business here, where do you want to go next? Shawn asked the girl. Let me think. You said you live in the next neighborhood? Elliot said thoughtfully. Shawn immediately guessed what the girl was implying. Her behavior surprised him again. Shawn hadn't expected Elliot to be so active. Opening the front door, Jennifer froze in place. On the threshold stood her son. Next to him stood a young woman. Hello, my name is Elliot Pressett. Your son and I... Elliot started to say, but Shawn interrupted her. Mom, this is just a friend of mine. She and I are friends, exclaimed Shawn. Well, my son's friend, come on in quickly, said Jennifer, trying hard to hold back the laughter that was bursting out. Her son's reaction amused her immensely. Jennifer hadn't expected Shawn to bring his friend home so quickly. I had to bring Elliot to my house because she asked that I show her my drawings. Now my mother is definitely not going to let go of me. She's going to bombard me with questions. Shawn thought irritably. Shawn noted to himself that his mother and Elliot had hit it off quickly. They talked about all sorts of little things and laughed all the time. Elliot, you wanted to see my drawings, didn't you? Then we should go to that room over there. My workshop is over there. Shawn pointed his index finger toward the back of the house. Elliot didn't even move. She stared at Shawn in silence. Shawn froze in place. He didn't know what was expected of him. Why are you frozen like a statue? Go get some water in here at least, Jennifer ordered her son. Don't mind my son. He rarely brings guests to the house, so he's confused, said Jennifer to the girl. Elliot admitted to the woman that she had come to their house to see Shawn's workshop. Shawn had wanted to show her off for a long time. I didn't want to show anything. Why is she cheating? She asked to come to my house all by herself. Shawn thought after hearing Elliot's words. I got the impression that you two have known each other for a long time. You probably met a few months ago, am I right? Asked Jennifer. Shawn is an old university mate of mine, replied Elliot. Shawn almost dropped the glass from his hands in surprise. Yes, he went to the same university as Elliot, but that was 2 years ago. He'd only known Elliot for 2 months. Why did she have to lie all the time? So that's how it turns out. And my son doesn't tell me anything. I didn't know about anything. I never thought my son had girlfriends at university, Jennifer exclaimed. I go to the same university your son went to. I'm graduating this year, told Elliot. Shawn was falling Elliot and his mother each a glass of water. Jennifer looked at her son irritably. She didn't like him constantly interfering in the conversation. You ignore him. Don't stop talking. Tell me about yourself. I'm extremely interested to hear what you do and who your parents are, said Jennifer to her son's girlfriend. What on earth is going on here? Elliot wanted to see my workshop, but instead she's chatting with my mother. And no one even thanked me for bringing water. Thought to himself, Shawn. This whole situation seems suspicious to me. Something is clearly wrong here. I hate to think badly of Elliot, but I think she's up to something. I'll leave you two alone. I need to go to the store. By the way, Elliot, stay for lunch, suggested Jennifer to the girl. Elliot was quick to refuse the woman, citing that they still had plans. And what plans did you have? Don't you want to have lunch with me? Jennifer asked her son. Shawn realized from the look in his mother's eyes that no objections were accepted. You two stay here. I'm going to go to the store now to get groceries, and then I'll make us dinner afterwards, shouted Jennifer, and grabbing her bag, she sprinted out of the apartment. So now we can look at your workshop. Show us what you're drawing in there. Elliot winked cheerfully at Shawn. It's not even 11 o'clock yet. Elliot will probably be visiting us for a few hours. Shawn thought, looking at his watch. This is the workshop I usually paint in, said Shawn, opening the door of the room. The workshop was a creative mess. Crumpled sheets of paper were scattered everywhere. Open cans of paint were standing around. And you paint pretty professionally. I like it, said Elliot, running her hand over Shawn's paintings. Squatting down, Elliot picked up a few drawings from the floor. Shawn shouted to the girl that this garbage, it should be thrown away. Well, since you claim there's a lot of trash in this room, pick it up and throw it away. Why are you standing here doing nothing? Asked Elliot. Elliot helped Shawn clean up the workshop. Half an hour later, the room was sparkling clean. Everything was in its place. Not only did she arrange the paint by color, but she laid out the brushes. Does she really paint too? I have to admit, this room is a lot cleaner than it used to be, thought Shawn, looking at the girl. Thanks for helping me with the cleaning. If it wasn't for you, this place would have been a creative mess for a long time to come, said Shawn. Just consider it my thanks for lunch. By the way, do you want me to guess where your room is? Asked Elliot. Shawn gave a startled shudder. Was she really going to clean his bedroom as well? Elliot walked over to Shawn's bedroom and grabbed the doorknob. No, you don't need to open that door, shouted Shawn. See, I guessed it. Behind this door is your bedroom, said Elliot, smiling. She's right. She guessed right away where my bedroom was. But how did she figure it out? Shawn thought in surprise. Elliot walked into Shawn's room and inhaled her scent deeply. What is she doing? Does my room smell weird somehow? No, it can't be. I air out my room every day. Shawn thought fearfully. Look, I'm so tired. Elliot cooed and sat down on Shawn's bed. Well, since you're tired, you should get some rest, said a blushing Shawn. Why don't you join me? We'll rest together. Elliot patted the bed beside her. Shawn froze in place. He realized the girl was up to some new game. Well, why are you looking at me like that? Don't be afraid of me. I promise you I won't eat you. Besides, I can see you're very sleepy. It's your black circles under your eyes that give you away. Don't be afraid of me. Do I really scare you? Elliot muttered in a displeased tone. This is my room and my bed, so I have absolutely nothing to be afraid of. Shawn thought to himself and flopped down on the bed. We're going to sleep in the same bed with you, Elliot whispered in Shawn's ear. Don't be ridiculous. Why don't you just lay down to rest? Why are you saying such stupid things to me? You said you were tired, so just lie down and rest, shouted Shawn. What are you so nervous about? Be cool. This is your house and your room, and I have no claim to anything. I promise you I won't tease you again, so go to bed. With a cocky smile, Elliot said. About last night, mumbled Shawn. Oh yeah, right. You confessed your feelings to me yesterday, but I still haven't responded to you, exclaimed Elliot. Wait, no! What do you mean I confessed to you? You're probably confused about something, marveled Shawn. He was beginning to feel like he was in a comedy of the absurd. He had the impression that he and Elliot were on different wavelengths. They were talking about different topics. Have you forgotten about everything? Last night outside my dormitory, you confessed your feelings to me. You even kissed me, mumbled Elliot, hiding her face in the blanket. I kissed you? Shawn marveled. Had he misremembered the previous night? But that couldn't be it, could it? He'd never complained about his memory. No, I definitely remember that she was the one who kissed me. What am I supposed to do now? I have to act like a real man now. I'm not some inexperienced boy. Shawn thought to himself. Okay, so be it. Then answer me. Will you accept my confession? Shawn asked in a firm, confident tone. He decided to act like a mature man who had a lot of experience in dealing with women. But you already kissed me, Elliot muttered. So we're already dating. Is that what you're saying? Shawn clarified. No, you have to confess to me officially again, demanded the girl. Okay. Elliot Pressett, I like you. Let's date, exclaimed Shawn. Suddenly, some rumbling was heard in the hallway. As I get older, not only does my hearing deteriorate, but my eyesight drops as well. Lately, I've been crashing into things all the time, Jennifer complained. Shawn jumped up from his bed and rattled the doors of the room shut with a bang. "Oh, shit! Your mom heard your confession, and if I reject you now, I won't be able to stay at your house for dinner," mumbled Elliot, hiding her face in her pillow. Shawn began to guess that the girl had done everything on purpose. How the hell does she do it? Elliot got out of bed and walked over to Shawn. "What are you doing now?" asked Shawn. "I just want to go out." "What did you think you were doing? You're in my way. You're blocking the road," replied Elliot. Shawn stepped aside, giving the girl the opportunity to leave the room. Walking past Shawn, Elliot suddenly stopped. She kissed Shawn on the cheek. "Auntie, let me help you," shouted Elliot and jumped out of Shawn's room. "This isn't what a date is supposed to be like, is it? I'm 2 years older than her, but why do I feel like an older sister teasing a younger brother?" Shawn thought irritably. He wanted to lock himself in his room forever and never come out of it again. "Shawn, come here quickly! How long can you stay in your room? All you have to do is let loose and you'll never come out of it," said Jennifer in a loud voice. Since Shawn knew it was useless to argue with his mother, he had to come into the kitchen. Jennifer and Elliot were arranging the prepared dishes on the table. They chatted like old friends who had known each other for a long time. "What are you frozen there for? Go wash your hands and help us set the table," shouted Jennifer. "No need to yell at him. I can handle everything myself," said Elliot. Elliot placed a bowl of rice next to Jennifer. "And how did you know I didn't want to eat a lot of rice? How did you guess that I was eating just the right amount?" Jennifer asked, surprised. "It's just that my family members don't eat much too, so I put so much rice on it out of habit. Enjoy it. If it's not enough for you, I'll put more," replied Elliot. Shawn walked into the kitchen and sat down next to Elliot. And how did Elliot manage to settle in here in just a few hours? It's not that easy. Not only has she found common ground with me, but also with my mother, Shawn thought to himself. "Elliot, and you really are a very good cook. You cooked some really very tasty vegetables. Shawn, son, you should definitely try these stroganoff-style vegetables," said Jennifer. Does she have absolutely no flaws? It's good to have an impressive girl, but it's not good when she outshines you in literally everything. We need to find a way to take the lead, Shawn thought. Jennifer looked at her son with a sidelong glance. He seemed like an uncouth jackass to her. Jennifer couldn't understand what a girl like Elliot saw in her son. Did fools really get lucky? "Shit, the rice is over and I'm still full," Shawn thought to himself as he looked at his empty bowl. "Give me your bowl. I'll put some more rice in it for you." Elliot took the bowl from Shawn's hands. The boy was struck by the girl's powers of observation. "Next time, pour your own. You shouldn't make your guests do that." Jennifer hissed and tapped her foot on her son's legs. After dinner, Elliot wanted to do the dishes, but Jennifer forbade her to do so. She suggested that the girl socialize with her son. Elliot took a watering can with water and went out on the balcony to water the flowers. Jennifer ordered her son to go to the store and buy dish detergent. "Listen, I heard a rumor today that you brought a girl home. Is it true?" The owner of the market shop, Mr. Mott, asked Shawn. "Who told you that?" Shawn asked in an angry tone. He was amazed at the speed at which gossip spread through the neighborhood. "Everyone saw it. The neighbors claim that you brought home a girl, and then your mother went to the bazaar and bought a bunch of groceries. I can conclude that things are serious between you and your girlfriend," replied Mr. Mott. Besides dish detergent, Shawn decided to buy some candy. "Don't you want to buy anything for your girlfriend? She's not likely to be happy with just candy, don't you think?" Mr. Mott asked. "Then help me with my choice," replied Shawn. "When your girl was wandering around, I kept wondering who she was scoping out. Now I guess she was looking for you," muttered Mr. Mott. Shawn contradicted the man. Elliot couldn't have been looking for him here, since he had brought her home for the first time. What a young man! In our day, we hid relationships, and now they flaunt everything. Mr. Mott grumbled as the store doors closed behind Shawn. Shawn found Elliot in her room. The girl was mumbling to herself as she rolled on the bed from side to side. Noticing Shawn, the girl immediately sat up on the bed. "I didn't know what you liked best, so I bought a little bit of everything." Although Shawn was surprised by the girl's behavior, he decided to pretend as if nothing was going on. "Did my status as your girlfriend have a positive effect so quickly? And I thought I was going to have to teach you stuff for a long time," Elliot muttered. Shawn wondered what kind of perks he was entitled to since he was her boyfriend. Elliot opened a bag of chips and started feeding them to Shawn. "We're dating now, so this doesn't count as teasing." Shawn decided for himself. "Is that the only privilege?" clarified Shawn. Elliot asked the guy about wanting more. Shawn looked at the girl and involuntarily licked his lips. "I get it. You want me to kiss you," said Elliot and reached for Shawn. The boy frightenedly recoiled from the girl. "I get it. You want to play. Then if you really want to get a kiss from me, then go ahead and take it," said Elliot, glancing at Shawn from under her eyelashes. The girl clamped a chip between her front teeth. "I'm her boyfriend now. Did she really think I couldn't do it? I mean, we just kissed yesterday. I'm definitely going to make it today." A blushing Shawn thought to himself. Shawn began to slowly reach for a chip. "And I brought you some watermelon," Jennifer exclaimed as she walked in. "I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. I'm leaving, so carry on." Jennifer skipped out of the room and slammed the door behind her. Shawn lay back on the bed and hugged his pillow tightly. Every minute of this day seemed completely awkward and illogical to him. "I'm getting like this just by being around her. This isn't going to work. I need to find someone with more experience and ask for advice. Are all girls such animals?" With a longing in his heart, Shawn thought. "And I want to confess something to you. I'm pregnant," Elliot whispered. "What on earth are you talking about?" shouted Shawn, jumping up on the bed. "I'm expecting a baby." Elliot took Shawn's hand and put it to her stomach. "It's your baby boy," Elliot said in a quiet voice. "What?" screamed Shawn. Shawn recoiled so violently from the girl that he fell off the bed without keeping his balance. "Now, let's go over this again and in order. Whose baby are you saying it is?" asked Shawn. "I'm telling you it's your baby. You kissed me last night too, and I got pregnant after that," replied Elliot. "Oh, stop saying I was the one who kissed you. It was actually quite the opposite," resented Shawn. "And why the hell is she teasing me again? She's the worst person I've ever had in my life. Got pregnant from a kiss. What the hell is she talking about?" Shawn thought and flopped down on the bed. Elliot put her arms around Shawn's waist and pressed her face against his back. "Stop pawing me," Shawn exclaimed and squeezed the girl's hands tightly. When Shawn woke up, he realized he was in the room alone. Where did she go? Did she really leave? It's past 5 in the evening. What a good night's sleep I had. I'm awfully thirsty, though. Shawn picked up a mug of water standing on the table and took a few sips. Suddenly, he could taste the faint flavor of orange. "Orange! So Elliot drank from this mug?" Shawn walked out into the living room. His mother was sitting there, watching television. Noticing her son, Jennifer motioned for him to sit down next to her. "Your girlfriend left hours ago. How long have you been asleep? By the way, are you sure you're dating?" Jennifer asked her son. "Didn't you see anything?" asked Shawn. He turned away from his mother. He was embarrassed to look her in the eyes. 286. "But I didn't hear her agree to go out with you. You didn't even give her a gift when you confessed your feelings. She should have turned you down. Plus, she's still in school. Don't you think you're doing the wrong thing?" Jennifer asked. "Mom, you know yourself that she'll be graduating soon. There's no need to make it sound like I'm dating a high school girl." Shawn objected. He noted to himself that sometimes he felt like Elliot was older than he was, not the other way around. "You only confessed to her today, even though I saw you go to the movies yesterday. That girl seemed pretty nice to me. I really don't understand how she could be interested in you. What does she see in you anyway?" Jennifer muttered. "And stop picking on the girl. You should move her into our house as often as possible. That's it. I can't take it anymore. We need to end this conversation as soon as possible. I can't take this pressure anymore." Shawn thought to himself and staggered off to his room. "And Mom is right. How could Elliot like me? Something doesn't add up," mumbled Shawn, entering his room. Shawn decided to text his friend Morris. He dated girls sometimes, so he had more experience. How pathetic he is, after all. He's been alone for so long, now he doesn't know how to act around girls. I bet he's never even held a girl's hand. Morris muttered after reading the message from his friend. Morris decided to help his friend after all. He offered him a few behavioral options that would make any girl blush. Morris also dropped a few links to articles about seduction. This is it! This is what I really need! With these techniques, I'm going to make Elliot embarrass herself, mumbled Shawn, perusing the articles. A message from Elliot arrived on his phone. She suggested that Shawn meet again. The girl promised that she wouldn't tease him this time. I don't believe in love at first sight. When there is no mutual understanding between people initially, is one meeting enough for people to like each other? Is that even possible? Shawn thought to himself. Maybe it's all about attraction? I've never heard of falling in love with an unattractive person at first sight. From the moment I met Elliot until we started dating, she's always taken the initiative. She was the first to add me as a friend, and she was the first one to ask me out. When I started liking her, she asked me to confess to her. But there must be a reason for that. Maybe she just wants my body? I may lack emotional intelligence, but I certainly have enough brains. I'll solve this mystery. Jennifer called her son to dinner. I don't know where your girlfriend learned to cook, but I believe she has enough skills to open her own restaurant. Is it an innate talent she has, or has she practiced a lot? Jennifer asked. And though no, it's hardly an innate ability. It's more likely she's practiced a lot, cooking for her family. So what are you thinking of doing next? For starters, I'm going to get a job. I want my income to be more stable, replied Shawn. But I like your job. It allows you fulfillment. You have a lot of free time. Your income allows you to support yourself fully, objected Jennifer. Yes, you're right. My income allows me to support myself, but I'm not alone now. I will need more money, said Shawn to his mother. Jennifer looked at her son in surprise. She didn't expect him to grow up so fast. Before going to bed, Shawn decided to find a suitable occupation for himself. He should have found a job that would not only bring in a good income, but that he also liked. Morris is currently working as an animator. He has his own unique style, which makes it hard for him to work with others. That kind of work definitely doesn't suit me. Becoming an illustrator is also a good choice. Recently, those that draw by hand are in demand. I need to remember that. I'll get the proper skills when I have some free time. The game industry is quite popular, and the demands for original works are only increasing. By the way, it feels like there's still her faint scent of shampoo on the pillow. Smells good. Shawn thought to himself as he fell asleep. Hey, how do I look? Does this dress look good on me? Elliot walked into Shawn's room. Shawn looked at the girl apprehensively. Oh, where are you looking at? Did you know it's inappropriate to look at a girl like that? Asked Elliot. Feigning embarrassment, the girl covered herself with her hands. But you're the one who asked me to rate you, mumbled Shawn. And why are you suddenly nervous? With a sly twinkle in her eyes, Elliot asked. Elliot began to slowly approach Shawn. Gradually, her body became covered in fur, and her ears grew on her head. The girl turned into a large fox. The fox opened its mouth, intending to swallow Shawn. Shawn jumped up on the bed. His heart was racing. Luckily, it was just a dream. Shawn's cell phone received a text message from Elliot. The girl was calling him to go to an amusement park. I'm so Shawn really liked to go on rides. He couldn't say no. What's the matter? Why couldn't I say no to her again? I mean, I had completely different plans for today. I wanted to find a suitable job for me. I accepted her invitation without much hesitation. What a loser I am after all, shouted Shawn. Shawn spent a long time in front of the mirror, choosing the right outfit for himself. Even though it wasn't his first date, he still wanted to look decent. As soon as Shawn left his room, his mother handed him a plate of hard-boiled eggs as well. Jennifer reminded her son that today was his birthday. There was an omen. If one ate eggs with 7 holes in the shell on one's birthday, one would become more perceptive. Hurry up and befriend that girl so that she can replace me in the future. I won't have to deal with you every day then. You're already starting to annoy me. You're either sitting in your room or in your workshop, grumbled Jennifer. Try taking your girlfriend out to dinner in anticipation of your birthday celebration. I'll go grocery shopping again tonight and make something for dinner. I'll go out with Elliot in the afternoon, and afterward we plan to have dinner somewhere. Tonight we'll have dinner out of the house, replied Shawn. In that case, take her somewhere nice. Avoid the street treats. If you want to win a girl's heart, you have to woo her and give her gifts for no apparent reason, advised her son Jennifer. Why is she dressed the same way as she was in my dream? Shawn thought to himself in surprise as he approached the girl. And why are you looking at me like that? Doesn't this outfit suit me? Elliot asked. Shawn hastened to assure the girl that she looked just fine. And what's that in your hands? Shawn pointed his finger at a small box in the girl's hands. Elliot hurriedly hid the box behind her back. She explained that it was a big secret and offered to take the box to the storage room so it wouldn't get in their way. Shawn planned to ride all the swings that were in the amusement park. As he studied his surroundings, Shawn noticed that the girl was starting to fall behind. I think you forgot something, Elliot said in a displeased tone. Shawn showed the girl his cell phone. Had he really forgotten to bring money with him? You forgot to take me? The girl exclaimed. Shawn took Elliot's hand and led the way. Shawn, you texted me some weirdly stupid stuff yesterday, but I want to admit that it was pretty sweet. Since you're making progress in our relationship, let me reward you, said Elliot. I don't think this is the right place, mumbled a blushing Shawn. Then we'll put it off for later, said the girl, smiling. Her hands are so soft and gentle, noted Shawn to himself. Are my hands nice to the touch? The girl asked unexpectedly. Shawn admitted to her that he thought her hands were soft and gentle. If you like my hands, you can hold them as long as you like. The first thing Shawn decided to do was ride the roller coaster. The brochure stated that the roller coaster is over 900 meters long. There are 4 large loops on it. The first is the Immelman turn, followed by a vertical drop. Up to this point, Elliot had only ridden on children's roller coasters that were less than 200 meters long. Are you scared? Asked Elliot as the roller coaster train touched down. No, of course not. What do you take me for? Shouted Shawn. If you suddenly get scared, you can hold my hand, offered Elliot. On another big loop, Shawn squeezed Elliot's hand tightly. That feels so good, shouted the girl. You should try screaming as well. It allows you to release all the negative emotions you've accumulated. Shawn decided to heed the girl's advice. He screamed at the top of his voice. Shawn noted to himself that when you yell, it doesn't feel so scary. After the ride, Shawn and Elliot decided to pick up the pictures. Personally, I like this picture. The shot came out extremely well. You were in the front row, so nothing was in the frame, said the sales guy. But if you like any of the other pictures, I'll print those too. No, we'll only take this picture. Print it out for us, please, in large format as a single copy, asked Elliot. Shawn wanted to take 2 pictures, but Elliot decided that 1 would suffice. So where do we go next? Asked Shawn to the girl. Hold the picture. Just be careful you don't remember. I've figured out what swing we're going to go on now. Elliot grabbed Shawn's hand and dragged him along. Why didn't you want to make 2 copies? The picture turned out really good. I like it a lot. I wish I had my own copy too, said Shawn to the girl. You want to have a picture like that too? You make it sound like you want to break up with me. If you and I keep dating, 1 picture will be enough for us, Elliot pointed out. That's where I want to ride. Elliot pointed her finger at a ride called the Suicide Machine. Looking up at the metal structure with people squealing in terror on top of it, Shawn swallowed nervously. So, shall we go for a ride? With a happy smile on her face, Elliot asked. Even though 2 hours had passed, there was no way Shawn was going to recover. The Suicide Machine ride had finally finished the guy off. Shawn was still dizzy, and his heart was racing. Look, stop sitting there with that sour face. Let's take selfies with you, Elliot exclaimed and clicked the camera a few times. Look, I'm going to throw out all of your plaid shirts in the future. They look extremely tasteless, grumbled Elliot, looking at the pictures she had taken. I don't get it. What's wrong with my shirts already? Shawn took umbrage. I repeat, your plaid shirts are tasteless. Let's redo the pictures. Lean closer to me and try to put your arm around me. And don't make that stone face. Smile, Elliot asked. The girl took more than a dozen pictures. Finally, one of them satisfied her completely. Elliot also insisted that they take a photo together, which they set as wallpaper on their phone afterward. It seems to me that you're already tired. Do you want to go take a break in the rest area and have something to drink? Shawn asked the girl. Shawn got a juice for the girl and a sparkling water for himself. He noticed that Elliot was scrutinizing something. Where are you always looking at? What are you so interested in? Shawn asked. He looked in the direction the girl was looking. There was an arcade machine standing there. You're interested in a toy machine? You like that kind of thing? Do you want me to get you some? Shawn asked. No, I know you don't know how to play something like that. Elliot wrapped her head from side to side. Besides, this machine doesn't have any toys I like. But let's make a deal like this. If we find something I really like, you have to win it for me, okay? Well, I've had my rest, now we can move on. Look, they say this house is haunted. Do you want us to go inside? Shawn asked the girl as they passed another attraction. The ghosts are pretty scary. Let's play something else, Elliot suggested. Are you finally getting scared? But the point of going to an amusement park is to experience thrills, right? Exclaimed Shawn. He was glad that he had finally found an attraction that actually scared the girl. She had been extremely calm before. Well, since you want to go into a haunted house, that's fine with me, Elliot agreed. Let's get this straight first. Once we're inside, don't try to scare me and don't go too far away or I'll get angry, warned Elliot. A skeleton clad in a long brown cloak greeted the new visitors at the threshold. I work here. If you want to experience the haunted house, then come this way. The entrance is here. If you can find the exit, you'll be able to get out of here. And if not, said the skeleton's loud laugh. Elliot, stay by my side. I promise you, we will definitely find a way out, exclaimed Shawn and punched himself in the chest with his fist. Not only is it scary in here, but there's some kind of strange odor, Elliot said in a frightened voice, hiding behind Shawn's back. You say the odor is strange? What if it's the smell of rotting corpses? I wish you good luck, said the skeleton and slammed the door shut. Elliot and Shawn went in search of an exit. This reminds me of the time my friends and I used to play hide and seek. Right now, I need to calm Elliot down somehow. A man's job is to protect a woman. This is my time to shine. Shawn thought to himself. This haunted house isn't scary. The organizers use darkness to induce fear in humans. They use fake props to intimidate. As long as you remember that everything around you isn't real, you'll feel safe, soothed the girl Shawn. Suddenly, right in front of Shawn and Elliot, a vampire hung head down. It howled angrily. Elliot took in a lungful of air and shouted loudly. It's all not true, a fake. It's okay, we can just move on, mumbled Shawn. Behind him, Shawn heard the sound of metal. Turning around, the guy saw a zombie holding a long sword. What the hell is that? Why does he need such a huge sword? Why is he dragging it behind him? Even for a regular prop, it's too much. Frightened, Shawn thought to himself. He could barely restrain himself from screaming. My legs, and I can't feel them, mumbled Elliot. Damn, who'd have thought anyone would be out here playing ugly zombie? If we get caught, we're going to have to take some kind of punishment. What the hell is this? This house is absolutely no fun, Shawn thought. He pulled the girl tightly against him. And what am I supposed to do with Elliot? She's scared to death. If I knew this is how it was going to go down, I wouldn't have made her come here. Hold on a second, I'll carry you in my arms, shouted Shawn and picked the girl up in his arms. Hold on tight, shouted Shawn and took off at a run. Luckily, I trained with roommates during university. Even though I've been a homebody for the past 2 years, I'm still in shape, noted Shawn to himself. Shawn heard a vicious growl behind him. He pulled Elliot even tighter against him. Damn, he keeps following us. He's constantly adjusting to my speed, whether it's speeding up or slowing down. I'm not allowed to stop, but if I keep running, it could go on forever, ran through Shawn's head. Shawn came running to an area where there were several doors. Shawn ran into the first door he saw. Try not to make a sound. We can't have this zombie discovering we have him. If he comes here, I'll try to catch him off guard and attack him, whispered Shawn. Shawn and Elliot sat in the room for a few minutes. Eventually, the howling of the zombie subsided. I don't hear it anymore. I think he's gone. He should be far away by now. We finally have a chance to get out of here, said Shawn to the girl. Shawn took Elliot's hand and led her down the hallway looking for an exit. They finally found a map that hung on the wall. The map showed every room with a monster on it, as well as the exit. I see you're feeling better. You're not so scared anymore, prompted Shawn. Elliot grabbed Shawn by the collar of his shirt and kissed him on the lips. Since you carried me, I wasn't so scared anymore. Let's get out of here already. I'm sick of this place, said Elliot. So where do we go next? Asked Shawn as they walked out of the haunted house. Elliot took his bottle of carbonated drink from Shawn's hands and took a few sips. Afterward, she handed the bottle back to him. I'm actually suggesting that you get out of here, said Elliot. She did it very naturally. We haven't been dating that long, but we've already held hands, kissed, and hugged. Isn't that too fast a development? Shawn thought. Elliot suggested that Shawn go to the storage room to get her box. Look, answer me this. What are you hiding in that box? Shawn inquired of the girl. She again answered him that it was a big secret. The girl promised to reveal the contents of the box soon. Elliot led Shawn to the dock. Elliot approached the boatman and asked him to rent a 4-seater catamaran for a little outing. She also bought 2 bags of fish food from him. Elliot liked the water, and she just loved feeding the fish. Soon, several dozen fish swam up to the catamaran. Wow, if we throw food as we go, that pack of fish will chase us, exclaimed Shawn. You're right. To get someone's attention, you have to feed and then just lead the way, prompted Elliot. That phrase sounded extremely strange. I hope I just misunderstood her, Shawn thought to himself. By the way, and you were telling me the other day that you had to take your exams. How did they go? Everything okay? Asked Shawn to the girl. He decided to change the topic of conversation. It was an easy language test. It went more than well, replied Elliot. And why do you need a language test? Shawn asked in a reproachful voice. It's required for my teaching certificate. I've wanted to be a teacher since I was a little girl, Elliot admitted. I never thought you wanted to be a teacher. I always thought you were attracted to creative work. I can't even imagine you scolding your students harshly, Shawn exclaimed. I want to be an elementary language and literature teacher. I'll have winter and summer vacations, plus it'll be a quiet job without much to do. And I think I would make a really good teacher, said Elliot. However, I've heard that teaching is a stressful job. You'll be checking homework, making lesson plans, and so on all day long. There's nothing relaxing about this profession, Shawn remarked. And who do you think understands this job better? From now on, I'm going to call you Student Lines, and you will call me Miss Pressett. I already want to feel what it's like to be a teacher. Elliot lifted Shawn's chin with her finger. No way. I'm not playing these games with you. I'm older than you. You're the one who should be calling me Big Brother, Shawn exclaimed. Okay, I agree. From now on, I'll call you Little Brother Shawn. With a beckoning twinkle in her eyes, Elliot said. Shawn noted to himself that even the word brother sounded wrong coming out of the girls' mouths. Forget it. Just call me like you did before, by my first name, asked Shawn. Okay, that's enough. I won't tease you anymore. Elliot turned away from Shawn and started feeding the fish again. I saw your post in our group chat. Are you looking for a job? Yes, I used to live only on orders and never thought about extra work. I was planning on looking for something suitable for me to do, but I have no idea what I really like. Shawn admitted. What made you start looking for a job all of a sudden? For some reason, I thought you were doing well right now. I don't think you need a job. Just gain experience. Eventually, you'll figure out what you really like. Take your time looking, advised Elliot. I believe experience can only be gained through work. Besides, I can barely support myself. Things are unstable in my life. I want to find something to do that will bring me money on a monthly basis. Shawn clenched his hand tightly into a fist. Still, I don't think you need to worry about a job anymore, since you don't need to take care of others. Elliot muttered thoughtfully. I want to prepare now so I don't panic in the future. You haven't even graduated yet, and you're already taking the certification exams. Now that's what I consider urgency, prompted Shawn. Okay, let's finish this conversation. I want to ask you one thing. Close your eyes, please, asked Elliot. If I close my eyes, then you can do anything to me, said Shawn, but still obediently lowered his eyelids. Some kind of rustling was heard. After a few seconds, Elliot allowed Shawn to open his eyes. When Shawn opened his eyes, he saw a cake in front of him. It was decorated with berries and candy in the shape of 2 rabbits. Surprised. Didn't expect to see that? Asked Elliot with a happy smile on her face. And how did you know it was my birthday today? I didn't want to tell you about it until tonight. Then we would have gone out to dinner together. Shawn muttered in surprise. Don't think finding out when your birthday is was an impossible task for me. But enough chit-chat. You better make a wish. And by the way, you can ask me for anything you want. I'll grant any wish, Elliot promised. Anything at all, believe me, even your deepest wish. Elliot gave Shawn a sly wink. Then close your eyes, Shawn asked. The girl had kissed him several times already. This time he wanted to kiss her first. Okay, I'll do as you ask. Elliot clasped her eyes tightly. Stay calm and confident. You can do this. Shawn soothed himself. He felt his cheeks and ears burning with fire. It felt like his heart was about to jump out. Leaning toward the girl, Shawn barely touched her lips and immediately pulled away. Elliot touched her lips in surprise. I have to stay calm. Next time I'll give her a long, mature kiss like in the movies. Shawn promised himself. Apprentice Lines, you had such an amazing chance and you didn't take it. Looking reproachfully at the boy, said Elliot. What is she talking about now? What is she implying? Shawn thought to himself and blushed even more. And why are you so red? It's all because you kissed me, I take it right? Elliot clarified. I'm hot. The weather's too hot today. Shawn began waving his hand like a fan. It was my first time. It was my first time kissing a girl. Gathering all his courage into a fist, Shawn confessed. Apprentice Lines, you know you're really cute, don't you? Here, take this piece of cake. I'm sure you'll like it. Elliot held out a piece of cake to Shawn. Apprentice Lines, and my birthday has already passed. What are we going to do? I don't know. We'll probably wait until next year. Assumed Shawn. But we'd have to wait a whole year, and that doesn't seem fair to me, objected the girl. What's wrong again? Has she decided to be cranky and tease me again? Shawn thought irritably. Look, you made a wish today, and I'll have to wait until next year to make mine. That means I'll always be one wish behind you. I want to make a wish now, too, to make up for it. Elliot pondered aloud. Although I don't know what she has in mind, my intuition tells me that her wish won't be easy. We need to be careful. Shawn thought to himself and asked the girl for a wish that wasn't too complicated. And what kind of wish do you think is complicated? Asked Elliot. Shawn suggested that the girl name her wish, and then he would decide if it was complicated or not. I want you to always kiss me when you meet me and when we say goodbye. Elliot voiced her wish. What? Shawn was surprised. And why are you reacting this way? Is this wish too complicated for you? Asked Elliot. Okay, have it your way, agreed Shawn. The wish wasn't complicated, and he was glad it was the girl who suggested it. Our agreement is effective immediately and lasts forever. Let's swear on our little fingers. We'll kiss twice a day always whenever we live together. That means we'll kiss over 700 times in a year. Elliot held out her pinky finger to Shawn. Elliot noticed a small piece of cream on the boy's cheek. The girl wiped the cream off and licked her finger. Shawn was surprised at what was happening. What's wrong? Did you want to eat the cream too? Elliot asked. Shawn hurriedly declined. Is she really an evil spirit in the guise of a human? I've heard that wine from Realgar can unlock snake spirits, but I'm not at all sure if it works on foxes. Shawn thought to himself. By the way, there are still places we haven't been. Where do you want to go? Asked Elliot, looking at the amusement park brochure. Shawn answered her that if she was tired, they could end it there. It's okay. I'm not tired. Today was a lot of fun. Thanks for keeping me company. I remember you offering to take me out to dinner. Let's go to your house. I'd really like to have dinner with your mom. Besides, it's your birthday today, said Elliot. We just started dating. Isn't our relationship going too fast? If you go to my place too often, it will give a bad impression. I don't think it will be good for you, replied Shawn. So you're saying that I'm too active and it gives the impression that I'm too eager? Your mom might think I'm frivolous? Tilting her head to the side, Elliot asked. Something like that. I'm not saying I'm the one who thinks that, but I'm worried about your reputation, replied Shawn to the girl. He was uncomfortable looking into her eyes. He kept averting his gaze. Then why can't you be a little more proactive, too? All this time it was me who actively pursued you, and you yourself know it very well. Why don't you want to be more proactive? Elliot inquired. I believe that our feelings are mutual, so there is no difference in who is courting whom. Either way, we can move gradually without rushing into anything, replied Shawn. But I'm feeling anxious. I love you so much, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do about it now, admitted Elliot. I love you too. That's why we're together now. Shawn also decided not to hide his feelings. And I take it you're okay with us having dinner at your house? If so, let's go back into town and get some groceries. The timing is just right. I'll cook us dinner. How do you feel about that? Elliot asked. The girl snuggled up to Shawn and kissed him on the lips. To hell with that wine from Realgar. I'm ready to drink it myself. This girl is a gift from above, my blessing. How can she be an evil spirit? With a blissful smile on his lips, Shawn thought to himself. He was willing to do anything Elliot offered him. Shawn was glad that Elliot was his girlfriend. Every day, he wanted to spend more and more time with her. Could this be true love? What if she didn't come into his life by accident?